This is Mr.Swirl, the internet's most disturbed user ever. He didn't add ever, but I think it adds more if we add ever. Done by Nick Crowley. I don't know who the hell Nick Crowley is. He's somebody. But in 2004, German police uncovered a hard drive filled with numerous photos of depict graphic images. Ooh, man was hiding behind a distorted, swirling face. The story of Mr. Swirl. Ooh, this creepy. Very creepy.
Pattaya, Thailand. Two young brothers enter a local internet cafe, take their seats, and begin playing their favorite games. One boy was 13, and the other just 8. And together they sat there and played the way they always did, getting lost in their screens, wasting the day away, until one of the boys fell.
The first game you saw on screen was Doom, and this is fucking Duke Nukem. You're welcome. Nerd moment!
A tap on his shoulder. Standing there beside them was a similarly aged child, a stranger to the boys, but a friendly one who strikes up a conversation and eventually poses an offer. According to the unnamed child, he had a friend who lived close by that owned a special computer, one far better than the device they were currently using, and one that had any game you could ever dream of playing. And he was headed to that friend's home right now, but he didn't want to go alone. It was an offer that the boys just couldn't refuse, and considering the child was clearly around their age, they saw no red flags and agreed to go with him, following the boy to a nearby apartment building, then up 7 flights of stairs and into a dark room. But waiting for them inside that room wasn't some sort of supercharged computer, and it surely wasn't a friend of the boys.
Oh! I didn't know it was gonna go this bad so fast, bro. He literally offered these internet kids like internet candy to come have sex with him at his place. No! No! Why are we here so fast? There was no lube. No lube in interjecting me into this. It just bent me over and raw dogged the fuck out of me into this situation. Jeebus Christ, my dude.
Instead, it was a monster in every sense of the word. A depraved soul who, years down the line, would go on to become one of the most notorious predators ever to walk this earth. An entity known only at the time as Mr. Swirl. And these children had just fallen into his trap.
Who's now at the heart of a global manhunt.
Repeated abuse of a dozen or more underage computer software to obscure his own face in the picture.
Hey guys, I just wanted to announce that I'm currently working on 2 collaborative projects with my good friend Nexpo, aka Ryan. Together we made this channel called Nick and Ryan, where we travel to some of the most haunted locations in the United States.
Yeah, dude, I don't care.
Over there, which has been super cool and super inspiring. By pure chance. But in 2000, this channel is not going anywhere. Okay, back to the disturbing video.
Okay, so real quick, you're not allowed to watch this, baby. This is this is bad. It's bad. It's bad for the baby. No baby watch this. She's like, no, I won't watch it, Dad. No, bad guys do bad things to babies. That's why if anybody looks at you the wrong way, I'll just hit them with a chainsaw. Stop being cute.
It's unclear if they knew what they were looking for, or if they had just happened upon it by pure chance. But in 2004, German police entered a long-forgotten storage unit, where beneath the piles of junk and old appliances, they'd unearth a single hard drive. Once plugged into the computer, the device revealed hundreds of images, some showing various locations, breathtaking scenery, delicious meals, and CP. The images showed scenes of depraved sexual abuse being done to individuals who were clearly minors, with this abuse being far worse than you'd ever imagine. And it wasn't just one child either, as across that hard drive seemed to be evidence of multiple separate instances of abuse, including images of 3 young boys taken in a dark apartment building. The discovery
Why are there people like this, dude? Why are this is why I will always support the death penalty, bro. This is why, right here is why I will support the death penalty. Somebody like this, after they're convicted, needs to be just fucking by a squad of people with fully armored bullets. Just the meanest bullets, exploding ones, the ones you see in Michael Bay movies. That's what needs to happen to these guys, starting with the junk first. Now, I don't care if you're a female or a male predator of this kind. Explosive to the genitals is what you deserve. It goes, oh, boom. And then you're like, oh no, when it used to go boom, I used to be very happy. And it used to be inside of a 9-year-old. And it's like, this is why this is happening. Explosions to the genitals. That is... If I run for president, all predators will have their junk exploded with nitroglycerin.
Discovery was horrid, though sadly all in a day's work for investigators who encountered things of this nature on a daily basis. And it's a discovery that likely would have never been discussed by the media after that one day, had it not been for one unusual detail. Typically, in cases involving CP, those taking the photographs and performing the actual abuse will almost always go out of their way to ensure that they aren't shown on camera. That way, if authorities should stumble upon it, they would essentially be unidentifiable. However, the dozens of photos found on this particular hard drive were different. Because rather than hiding just out of frame like all the other predators seemed to do, the man behind these images had instead gone out of his way to ensure he was featured within them, shamelessly inserting himself into every single picture, even posing for them, before, during, and after he had changed the lives of these kids forever. And although his entire body was shown in these photographs, the only thing hiding his identity was the addition of a single effect. One that swirled the man's face into a distorted, pixelated mess, making him completely unrecognizable, and leaving his face to look like this.
What the fuck, dude? This is horrific, dude. This is scary. This is legitimately fucking scary, bro. Could you imagine working this case and you have a bunch of fucked up pictures with this going on, dude? This is the type of shit that people write creepypastas about. How can this be fucking real life? This is the type of shit you fucking write. You're like, ooh, this is gonna kill it on Reddit. I hope that it makes it on Creepcast. No, this is a fucking real dude. And he was like, I'm going to put these pictures on the internet for other people like me, who also should have their genitals exploded. Explosion genitals. He deserves it. His head should look like that after they're done prosecuting him. They should just swirl his head in a blender.
There was something so disturbingly arrogant about it. A man posing with his victims while destroying their lives, hiding behind only a single swirl of color, almost as if he was taunting any investigators who might eventually find these images. And given the clear indications that this man was obviously a serial abuser, and likely still out there offending, tracking this anonymous figure down became priority one for law enforcement in the area. And it's there that he would be given his nickname, Mr.Swirl. And with the swirl being the only thing standing in the way of investigators getting to see his face, most would have assumed that identifying him would be a walk in the park. However, this was far from the case. As the images began to be dissected, it quickly became apparent that deciphering the sensor was going to be far more difficult than initially thought, and potentially even impossible, as the pixels had been
Bro, look at all those fucking kids, dude. It's about a guy who is like a serial offender for doing stuff to kids. And this guy would take his picture, right? He would take this picture and he would post these pictures with these kids, and he would do that to his face. It's just like straight out of a fucking horror movie directed by Tarantino or some shit, dude. This is fucked.
In such a unique way that there wasn't any known method to unscramble it. And quickly, what should have been their most valuable clue, the one that stood so tantalizingly close, became a lost cause, leaving investigators at their first dead end. Realizing that things were about to get much more difficult, the German police enlisted the help of an agency known as Interpol, an international crime-stopping organization with a special unit dedicated to resolving crimes against children.
Here's the thing that bothers me. This is something that we're gonna get a political take from Jeffrey. I guess we're gonna get a political take from Jiffy. How in the fuck do we have like groups that'll go out there and like clap your ass cheeks if you forget to pay like a certain amount of taxes, right? If you fucking fuck up on your revenue service, you have the fucking IRS just open up, yet people like this exist. How about this, right? Crazy thing. We should take everybody in the ATF, which is literally an agency that just governs things that are illegal in this country. We take the ATF and move them over to child crimes. And we just start cracking the fuck down. Anybody that has a sniff of this type of shit on their computer, jail. I think that's the way to go, dude. This is fucking weird.
Interpol immediately began to get to work, attempting to decipher the photos in a different way, this time by using context clues in the pictures to track down where exactly they were taken, which in turn could tell them where this man was from and where the abuse was taking place. But this too unearthed yet another problem. The first batch of images was discovered to have come from Cambodia, but the next showed evidence that the man was in Vietnam, and then in Thailand, and potentially even South Korea as well. Rather than gaining clarity, the locations of these images instead made the search even wider, as the man was seemingly traveling from country to country, committing his crimes and then fleeing, thus never staying long enough for law enforcement to catch up with him, making it completely unclear to investigators.
Well, yeah, dude, this is exactly what he wants. He wants this attention, and he wants people to try to track him. He's playing Catch Me If You Can with Michael Jackson, Macaulay Culkin activity. Now, that's alleged. I don't know if anything actually happened between those two. It's a joke, you fucking troglodytes out there that want to make me look like an asshole. But here's the thing, dude. Here's the thing. This guy's thinking it's fun. This is a game to him. This is the same shit for, like, serial killers like BTK and shit, where they're literally just like, let's keep these guys on. Whoa, I caught you $1. Oh, you gotta be quicker than that. I'm gonna go get more kids. Bro, I hate it. Why do people like this exist?
Where he was actually from, and given just how vast his travels were, at this point, it was realized that Mr. Swirl could be anywhere, a moving target, so to speak, and an active one as well. During the investigation, which would later be dubbed Operation Vico, in reference to Vietnam and Cambodia, which seemed to be the main sites of his abuse, investigators made a disturbing discovery: that Mr. Swirl's photographs were not exclusive to just that hard drive, as photo after photo began to appear on various online forums.
Yeah, no shit, dude. That's why he's doing this. He's putting him on these weird fucking pedo forums, trying to peddle this shit everywhere so more fucking degenerates like him can get off. When all those people shouldn't be on the internet at all, they should be dead. That's a crazy radical take from me, King Jiffy Coates. I think pedophiles are bad. Yeah, dude, we're getting edgy.
With all of them featuring that disturbed, swirling face. The images were shared across the web seemingly straight from the man himself, and were sent out to various predatory groups that were filled with individuals just as sick as he was. Within these groups, it was considered a badge of honor to show your body and face within the content you made, thus leading to the sender becoming well respected among his peers.
Bro was doing this shit so that this is like those fuckers that virtue signal on Twitter, except for with pedophilia, bro. What the fuck? What the fuck? We live in a weird old world. The internet made us crazy. Oh my god, dude. No, my viewers are dropping like fucking flies because I'm watching this shit, dude. I don't care. I am so fucking locked in right now that I need to know they caught this guy.
Which showed us two things. One, that this was likely the reason why Mr. Swirl inserted himself in these photos, as it had led to him becoming a beloved member of their twisted community, in turn granting him access to all the CP he could want. And two, that the images found on the hard drive did not account for his whole body of work, as in these chat rooms and forums, police would find far more photos featuring their suspect, raising the total from a few dozen to nearly 300.
Whoa.
By this point, Mr. Swirl had been untraceable. Authorities were essentially—
Bro, to give you a perspective of how much that is, that's like my entire catalog of YouTube videos, but that's just pictures of this guy diddling kids. And how the fuck, the fact that you're getting internet clout from making sure your body's in the picture. What the fuck type of, like, who wants clout from pedophiles, dude? That's like me wanting Vosh to talk about me. He's not. Okay, let's be a little bit credible, or like give a little bit of a fucking branch to Vosh here. He hasn't messed with kids. He just fucking had lolly horse porn. So, I mean, I'm being a little bit disingenuous and hyperbolic and joking, but still, dude, I don't fucking care if I'm ever on Bosch's radar, because he's not somebody who interests me, and I think his takes are dog shit. And I think the lolly shit is really cringe. So, yeah, like, I don't fucking care if one of those people like me. So, wow, shocker, dude. I don't fucking care. Wow. But when it, like, the fact that there's people out there that are like, yes, dude, these other fucking creeps on this website, they think I'm the ultimate creep. Let's go, dude. I'm the best. Like, what the fuck?
Searching for a ghost, and though these new images must have felt like a gut punch at first, they would eventually prove to be integral to their investigation, as for the first time in their hunt, Mr. Swirl had made a key error.
Let's go. They're coming
Within
for you,
these
Mr. Swirl.
postings, Mr. Swirl had forgotten to hide his IP address, in turn revealing the general area in which they had been sent, with the location being Vancouver, Canada.
Fucking Canada. This is why they're getting tariffed by Donald Trump. This is why the tariffs are in, because Canada let Mr. Swirl be active. Take that, liberals. You have Mr. Swirl. That's your guy. This is why we should build a wall. We should build the biggest wall from Canada, so no more Mr. Swirls exist. Canada will be the 51st state, so we can stop Mr. Swirl.
This break revealed the key detail that he had some sort of tie to Vancouver, and that he was likely a sex tourist, someone who travels to countries that have loose laws around their age of consent in order to be able to abuse children without any repercussions, with Mr. Swirl clearly doing the same thing, visiting multiple countries in Asia, making his material, coming home, and then sharing it with his friends.
This is what bothers me about anime, and it really, really is tough, because I like anime. I do like anime. I'm an anime fan. But you'll be watching something and sometimes it's like egregious and like they look young as fuck and you're like, come on, dude. And I'll just click off. I'll go to another show. If it's too fan servicey, I'll just fucking go to another show, because it's like the character in the show's like 16, bro, and I'm like, not comfortable. This makes me uncomfy. I'm moving on, dude. And it's like, yeah, I understand that it's just like drawings or whatever, but what you don't understand, that in Japan until like 2013 or 16 or something, like the age of consent was like 14 or some shit, and like peddling child CP was like okay, dude. It was okay until that time period, like 2013 to 2016, somewhere in there. You could peddle that shit. So when you watch some of these animes that are like really egregious with fan service and they're like really young and they look really young, like you have to understand that until recent world that we live in, they used to be steady watching some creepy shit. Like there is an anime called fuck, dude, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like Kinshu or something. It's about this swordsman who has like a sword that's like on the other side of the sword. So normal sword, right? You got your normal sword, the blade would be here. His blade's like right here, and it's like a decent show. But the dude was definitely arrested for having like endless hard drives, if you know what I mean. Bro was on that Epstein flight log type shit. And it sucks because the show's probably great. I haven't really watched it, but it's like wild because if he would have deleted that shit previous to the ban, he would have been steady okay. And that's what kind of creeps me out about like some of the Asian culture, is that this shit is kind of normalized over there. Now there are places like Japan that are moving away from it, but the idea that people don't have the understanding that this shit was like readily okay over in even Japan, which is the most westernized, for a very long time. And it puts like this stain on stuff like that you watch. And the fact that people are like going on sex tourism in Asian countries shows that there is a problem.
It certainly didn't solve the case,
Wow, I was
but
right.
It was finally a step in the right direction. And unbeknownst to the team working on Operation Vico, they were quickly approaching an even bigger revelation. As authorities were working hard on pinning down Mr. Swirl's location, some members of the team held on hope that the images themselves could still be unscrambled, and upon digging a bit deeper, one member of the team would actually recognize the swirl as having come from a fairly standard editing program, which revealed something. The swirl effect wasn't like a typical sensor or blur. Those effects completely mask or even remove the pixels from the actual photograph, making them nearly impossible to decipher. But this effect did neither of those things, and instead it simply rearranged the pixels of the man's face into a swirling pattern, meaning that this image still contained all of its original pixels, and Mr. Swirl's face was somewhere in this picture. They just had to piece it together. And so, in what must have felt like a Hail Mary at the time, an investigator put one of the images into that very same editing software, then clicked that very same swirl.
Dude, this is so fucking stupid. This is so stupid that they, like, I'm hoping this was like a month into investigation that they realized that he used a fucking editing software to swirl his face. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. How fucking retarded do you have to be like, oh, I just unswirl it? Like, I was thinking maybe he used something where it fucks it up, so that's why I didn't say anything earlier to, like, sustain from being that stupid. But the fact that these guys, there was probably, like, a giant team of people, and they're all fucking pondering. They figured out every fucking country this guy's been here, and one of them was like, why don't we just fucking try unswirling the picture? And they're like, oh, that's a good idea. What the fuck? This is so dumb.
Fact, and simply reversed it. Which in turn led to this. In an investigation that started all the way back in 2004, finally, Mr. Swirl's face was revealed with a single click a whole 3 years later.
3 years? It took them 3 fucking years to unswirl his face! Not one of these fucking idiots looked at the swirl and thought, you know, what fucking editing software has swirling in it? Maybe we should look into that. Maybe we should fucking look into how he swirled his face. It took him fucking 3 years to unswirl this cocksucker's face? You should have all, except for the guy who unswirled his face, all of you should have lost your jobs. You're obviously not good at investigating. First thing I would have said is, can you unswirl his face? Do you know what editing software he did to swirl his face? Have you tried all the editing softwares? No, but we're trying to find every country he's been in. Well, can we start with the editing software first? That seems like a dumb idea. We're not going to do that. Well, you're fired. Can you unswirl his face? Do you want to be fired? No, unswirl his fucking face. Wow, dude. Whoa. This is why they get paid the big money to investigate. We have fucking Dudley Do-Right over here. We had like a team of the Dudley fucking Do-Rights working on the fucking giant serial molester over here. And one guy from the IT department walks in. Have you tried to unswirl his face? What the fuck? 3 years? Jesus.
What the man looked like, but also that it was truly just one man behind the swirl.
Bro looks like the type of guy that would do this. Come on. Look how dweeby he looks. He's gross. He's so stereotypical, that guy, bro.
All they had to do was find him. Interpol first started their search by sending this man's image to every single police station the network had access to, asking if anyone across the world had a criminal in their database who might match this photo.
Well, at that time they would have been like, have you asked Jeeves how to... Do you remember Ask Jeeves? Before Google was like the main thing, it was like, ask fucking Jeeves. They're like, have you asked Jeeves how to unswirl a picture? For those of you who don't remember, before Google, there was this site you literally ask this guy, this fucking butler named Jeeves, the answer to a question, and he would bring up results, kind of like how Google does now, where it'll tell you the first result is the answer. Well, it used to be there was a site called Ask Jeeves that would tell you the answer. So you'd ask this fucking butler Jeeves what the answer was. So you could have literally asked that motherfucker, hey Jeeves, real quick, just pondering on something real quick. Do you know how to unswirl a picture? And Jeeves would have been like, what's up, my dude? Listen here, mother trucker. You just use this right here to swirl a picture, and you can then unswirl it. You would have, fuck! Case cracked. Case cracked. We are the ultimate investigators, bro. Jesus. And people wonder why I don't want to give all power to the government. Like, it has nothing to do with, like, whenever I hear, like, ideas about, like, this is gonna get a little political, but, like, I hear ideas about communism stuff, and I'm like, dude, the government took fucking 3 years to unswirl a picture using fucking Microsoft Paint. Like, come on. These are the guys I'm gonna trust with my entire livelihood? Fuck you. No, they don't even know how to use Ask Jeeves, bro.
This attempt would fall flat, indicating that whoever this man was, he likely had no prior criminal record. Time was clearly of the essence, and they knew that with every waking moment, Mr. Swirl could be adding to his list of growing victims. And wanting to act fast, Interpol made a fairly unprecedented decision. They reached out to every single major news outlet across the world and asked them to show this man's face.
They're so proud of their work. They're so fucking proud of their work, bro. They're so proud of their work that they sent it to every news station and make sure you take his face swirled and then unswirl it. It took us 3 fucking years to do that. That's impressive. The people at home will think it's cool.
On their broadcast to help bring this predator to justice. Additionally, the images of Mr. Swirl's face were also plastered in all corners of the internet, and within just one day, the story was quite literally everywhere. What started as a small search for an anonymous man had become an international manhunt.
Oh my god, they literally put the swirl to unswirl image everywhere. And I know that it's trying to, like, identify him by these forums, but I feel like a part of them was like, yo, we're really proud of this shit. We figured out how to swirl and unswirl an image. Could you make sure to run that everywhere? We did a good job. We not only figured out everywhere he went, how many people he'd went with, where he was last week, in what country, but we just learned how to unswirl a picture, so we need every news site to figure that out or show that, because we're the big dog here.
Overnight, and within just hours, Mr. Swirl would be anonymous no more.
Top news story this hour. The worldwide search for a suspected pedophile is concentrated in Thailand this morning. We now know the suspect is a Canadian. The CBC's Michael McAuliffe reports from Bangkok.
Build a northern wall. Canada has had Mr. Swirl at one time. We got to build a wall.
This morning, Interpol announced they now believe they know who the man is. He's been identified as a Canadian. 32-year-old Christopher Paul Neal.
His name is Christopher Paul Neal. Not only did Neal's face and body match perfectly with Mr. Swirl, but he also had grown up just outside of Vancouver where the IP was tracked to. And he had moved from country to country across Asia in recent years, countries like Cambodia, Vietnam, and Thailand. The resemblance was so undeniable that even one of his own family members came forward to help identify him. Christopher Neal was in fact Mr. Swirl, a discovery that came...
It's funny that his family members came forward. So Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, imagine Trump bragging about the unswirl technology. A lot of stupid individuals. They're big dumb idiots. They're the dumbest. No low IQ individuals. And see, I walked into their offices. I said, "Have you unswirled the picture?" And they said, "Mr. Trump, no one's thought of that." Wow, they said you were the smartest man in this room. How could one unswirl the picture? They said. I said, "Do unswirl it. Just unswirl it. Just unswirl the picture." And they never knew. They never knew that somebody could come up with an idea that good. And I unswirled the picture. But like Ted Kaczynski's own family came out there. His brother's wife was like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Ted's letter," and he's like, "No, that's not. Oh, that's not Teddy." And then he looked at it, he's like, "Oh fuck, that's Ted's letter," and then he reported his brother.
With some disturbing revelations. As it turns out, Christopher Neal was actually working as a children's English teacher, a job he had held in each of the countries he was discovered to have abused young boys in, making it likely that he used this position of power to lure in children from his classes to eventually abuse them and share their photos online. Along with this, it was also revealed that he had used his relationships with young boys to help lure in other children for him to assault. As looking back on the story that started this video...
Bro, what was that? What was the guy in Oliver Twist? What was the fucking guy in Oliver Twist? The one who would lure the boys to get him to steal shit for him. What was that fucking guy's name? I don't know, but bro basically had the Oliver Twist of CP going. Jesus.
he had recruited a clueless child he knew to lure those two brothers back to his apartment. This discovery also shined a spotlight on his social media pages, and specifically his MySpace page, where he chillingly wrote,
Fucking MySpace, bro. Jesus, dude, I forgot MySpace existed.
"Loving Asia, will I ever come back?" while in the midst of his abuse spree.
Of
But for
course he
me,
loves
one of the
Asia.
most shocking revelations was that those images that he had posted during the investigation weren't actually posted to his computer. At some point in the early 2000s, Neil had stopped home for a brief vacation to visit his family, and while there, he decided to upload all of his CP to his
Bro was like, I just got back from Cambodia with a hard drive full of good, and I'm going to distribute this all over the internet. I can't wait to get back to Canada. This is a Canada thing to do. I'm gonna do it in Canada. Jesus, bro.
had friends. But rather than using his personal device or a public computer, he instead broke into his own brother's laptop and uploaded his content there. That way, the images would be tracked to his brother and not him, which explained why he never bothered to hide his IP address. The more they learned, the more disturbed the story.
Hey, bro, can I borrow your laptop real quick? Why? I just need to check my MySpace. Don't you have a laptop? No. See, I poured water down it. What? Why would you pour water down it? Oh, I was drinking water and it poured down it. Oh, so you spilled water on it. No. I don't think you understand. The water hit the laptop. Okay, so I need your laptop. Okay. But you need to give it back in a week. I have way too much stuff to upload. What are you uploading? I mean, I have way too many emails to send. Can I get it back to you in a month? Sure, buddy. Jesus, it's the Hunter Biden. It's the first Hunter. It was the original Hunter Biden laptop. This is where Hunter Biden got the ideas. Jesus Christ, dude.
He became, as even at the time they discovered his identity, it was revealed that he had currently been working in South Korea as a teacher. But when the officers arrived to arrest the man, he was already long gone. Having certainly seen his face all over the news, Christopher made the decision to flee the country, being spotted in this image captured at an airport in Thailand, as he had flown to the country likely in an attempt to find refuge. Throughout the following days and weeks, his likeness would turn up time and time again in the country, indicating that he was somewhere in Thailand hiding out. And having cornered him in the region, it wouldn't take long for police to knock on the door of an abandoned house in the middle of nowhere, in which Christopher Neal happened to be hiding, bringing the multi-year search for Mr. Swirl to an end.
We got him, boys. We killed him like a dog. Abu Swirl Barakta. We killed him like a dog.
Following his arrest by Thai police, Neal will be charged for his assault on those 3 young boys from the internet cafe, as it was the only crime they could prove had taken place in their country, and with it carried a prison sentence of 5 years. Admittedly, the sentencing was light, but the plan was to have Neal turned over to Canadian authorities after he did his time in Thailand, where they would also prosecute.
5 years, bro? He better get like the death penalty. No, Canada doesn't have the death penalty, so he better spend life in fucking maple syrup in Canada.
Him all over again, with the hope being that they could do the same thing with countries like Cambodia and Vietnam, and essentially force him to live out his life in prison.
5 years, that's what I'm saying, bro. He needs to spend life in maple syrup in Canada, dude.
However, when the sentence was completed in 2012, and Christopher was deported back to Canada, the shocking decision was made to allow Christopher Neal to walk free.
Fuck you, Canada! This is why you're getting tariffed. I don't even agree with the tariffs, but this is why you're getting tariffed. We're gonna tariff you to existence. You let Mr. Swirl just chill at the fucking... Now you can run into... If you're in fucking wherever in Canada, if you're in Canucksland, you can go up there and you can accidentally bump into Mr. Swirl. No! No! Why? Why does Canada suck? I officially don't like Canada. What the fuck?
When Neal was detained in Canada, authorities let him walk under the condition that he would never own a device that connected to the internet again. as well as the agreement that he would stay away from parks, schools, and also register as a sex offender. I can't for the life of me understand why this decision was made.
Oh my
but from
god,
what I
dude,
could
chat. Cause he's out there swirling. He's swirling so hard. He's out there swirling. Not near schools or yards. He's out there swirling. He can't take a 45. He's out there swirling. I just wish he would die. That's a song written by somebody else, and it has nothing to do with the situation that we're watching right now. If any officials are watching.
Rather, it seemed to center around the fact that his crimes were international, and that none of his other victims had actually come forward, meaning the other countries they had hoped would prosecute never actually bothered to pursue it.
But here's the thing, isn't it illegal to send this type of energy, or to put these type of images on display on the internet? Why can't you, like, fucking book him for that?
And because his crimes didn't happen on Canadian soil, not much could really be done.
What about the posting the shit on his brother's laptop? That was done on Canadian soil?
Legally speaking. And so in the end, the hunt for Mr. Swirl ended up lasting almost as long as the sentence he served. And even after everything this man did, he was let loose and allowed to assimilate back into society. But this isn't where our story ends. Not even a full year later in 2013, it would be uncovered that Christopher Neal had somehow managed to purchase a computer and also connect it to the internet, a clear violation of his conditions. And though he claimed it was just for writing a book about his life experiences, when investigators seized the device, they would, unsurprisingly, find even more CP.
Wow.
25 images.
What a fucking shocker. He went and found a computer and downloaded, images of the pornographic nature. Wow, dude. No one could have ever seen this coming. I am so befuddled and baffled at the circumstances that have been fallen on us in this situation. Whoa.
To be exact, including two with his signature swirling face. As it turns out, Christopher had been using the device to contact his fellow pedophile friends, where he would even message one of his disturbed friends right after his release, saying, "The swirl liveth still," proving without a shadow of a doubt that he was remorseless about his crimes and took pride in his new nickname. And somehow, the discovery got even worse from there, as it was revealed that a friend of his had shown him how to access the deep web and how to share these photographs in practically an untraceable way, thus allowing him to continue being active in these predatory groups, no matter what restrictions were placed on him. After Canadian police made this discovery, Christopher would yet again be arrested, and this time they had the chance to really send a message and put him away forever, as clearly letting him walk away the first time was a mistake, as he wasn't reformed.
Yeah, no shit. No shit, it was a mistake. I hope that the swirl quit liveth. Yeah, dude. Dude, no shit. God damn it, dude. Canada, what the fuck are you doing up there, buddy?
Even in the slightest. And so, to make up for this, the judge would give Christopher Neal the whopping sentence of just 5.5 years, with time served, meaning that he would only end up in jail for a little over 14 months. The prosecution praised the sentence as a win, and Christopher vowed to change his ways, but it just doesn't sit right that as of 2016, Mr. Swirl, the man responsible for dozens and dozens of instances of extreme child abuse, which by the way are just the ones that we know of, is a free man, now living a normal life in Vancouver. And worst of all, he now has access to share this material through untraceable avenues, meaning that there is a good chance that he could still be out there obtaining, sharing, and who knows, maybe even producing his content. The case of Mr. Swirl is such a frustrating one. For once, a case of this nature gained worldwide attention.
Dude, this guy gets worldwide attention for doing the most abhorrent thing of all fucking time. And he's just chilling, bro. He is out on the streets right now because Canada was like, we'll give him 5 years, time served. And it's like, oh, so how long is that going to be? 14 months. Like, this guy's fucking walking among people.
And was pursued by the full extent of the law, with the folks over at Interpol doing a fantastic job with the case, only for it all to be deflated once he was finally captured. And just knowing that he's out there living a normal life after all this after all the lives that he's forever affected,
Big fucking L, Canada. Big fucking L.
makes this one of the most disheartening cases we've covered to date.
Are you curious what happened to him?
No, because I can hear
Oh, you could hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Dude got fucking 14 months of jail. You know what he should have gotten?
His balls cut off.
No, dude, his genitals should have been blown up. They should have hit him with some nitroglycerin shot right into the testes, bro, and they should have exploded, and he should have bled out. In Minecraft, or whatever. Fucking... I hate that. I hate this, dude. I hate this, dude. Dude, he's just in Vancouver. You're right. He's chilling in Vancouver, filling up every hard drive they have in Vancouver, dude. He's got like a 40 billion terabyte hard drive of fucking awful material. Jesus Christ, dude. What is my life? What the fuck is this, dude? What the fuck? Canada? Oh, Canada has Mr. Swirl. Did they prosecute him? Well, kind of. He got 14 months. Dear God, dude. Well, that's sad.